It's almost like you're washing off the heat.
Ooh, wow.
So I'm sitting here at the bench, the Group W bench. W stands for win in this case. You may have listened to Arlo Guthrie songs that indicate otherwise, but it's all win here. So I've changed a lot of radiators before. I've never really cut one open. What's inside a radiator for an automatic transmission car? We're all about to find out. This is a radiator from a Honda Civic. You see they got saying Honda right there. Probably look up that number and tell exactly what it's from. And they just paid to have it cleaned. It basically cracked. The crack went from here to here. Radiators will typically have some basic components. Some are more optional these days, but they always have a hose near the top and a hose near the bottom. Now this is a top tank, bottom tank one, and then you've got the lines that go between. And then a lot of other radiators, they'll be just the exact same as that, but this way. But one of those will be at the bottom and one will be at the top. So, and not all radiators have the same kind of setup as this, because this is an automatic transmission radiator, and it makes a difference because you've got a cooling line. You got transmission fluid, goes in one side and out the other, and gets cooled in the in-between somewhere in here. We're going to see what that looks like. This one has a drain cock with just a little nipple. Cocks and nipples. Everybody get out your giggles and get over that, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. So some radiators will twist a little bit and then come out this way. I know Chrysler and a lot of European cars do that, but Honda, they're old school, old reliable. They just screw in like that. You can see where the dirty part was, where the coolant was, and the rest is all just clean. And then there's an O-ring. So as you unscrew these, it goes back a little ways and then it drains out of here. So this is going to make a big old mess on my poor Group W bench here, workbench. But we're going to get into it. So there's special tools that you can use to properly do this. We're not going to be using those tools. We're going to use an angle grinder because I have a fixation with them, a fascination with them. And well, that's the way we roll. Never, ever, ever, never use a grinder without the guard in place, because it's dangerous and bad and you shouldn't do it. These things have a lot of torque and they will grab into something, get stuck, torque back, and cut your dang finger off, so don't do that. Always when using an angle grinder, as my brother, the eye doctor, eye surgeon guy would say, wear safety glasses. He picks crap out of people's eyes all the time from using these. And I'm blaming Chaz. Chaz is like my role model and hero when it comes to welding. Chaz does it this way, and when he was working for a company cutting cement trucks in half with an angle grinder, yes, you can do that, moving trucks, whatever else, he'd always get a setup like this, and he had it in a case, and the case says, do not use this grinder, you will cut your finger off. And people would use the grinder with no guard, and they would wind up having to get stitches. So anyway, there's a trick to doing it without a guard, and I'm just going to shut up and cut open a radiator now. Figure it's time to quit half-arsing it and just do it. There we go. So as you can see, the tank is extremely, no, it's not complicated at all. See, it's got just a little window that goes up to where the radiator cap is. Didn't expect that, did you? I guess you should. It's just, it just looks weird looking at it through this other side. A little different perspective. So this goes to your expansion bottle. Anytime that your radiator cap burps or lets off a little steam, a little pressure, or expands, it goes out into the catch bottle, and then when it contracts, it sucks it back up. It's basically backwashing the stuff based on pressure. Pressure is affected by heat. Is that what you're expecting? Whatever they used to clean it, it sure worked. It's clean. The main failure point of this radiator was that. Is the tank just getting brittle and cracking and falling apart. Let's play with it. So mostly just right in here it was weak. The rest of it not too bad. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Son of a gun. It's not just a brittle, breaky, achy breaky country song kind of a thing. It's Still got some strength to it, but in that one spot it fractured and it was done. That was enough for me. I figured with all the crud that was in it, looking at the outside, all these dribble marks, maybe there's more damage. The condenser being bent and making contact with it. So yeah, let's just get a new one. And just the age of it. We're gonna pull these off because they're a little bit in the way of our cutting production here. Oh yeah. Boy, it just satisfies when something breaks free, doesn't it? It's crack. All right. That's better. So these are adapters for the hoses. You know, whether you're going to be a quick disconnect type of radiator or if you're going to go this route with the nippos. I got some injector nozzle plugs. I want to plug these off so they don't piss all over the bench worse than they already are. Alright, that's working. I think 6.4 liter. You hang on to stuff, keep it in containers like this, you never know when you're going to use it. I just did. You see on the end it's just got a couple of buck teeth to get rid of, so I may just use a screwdriver. It's probably better to use a screwdriver for the whole stinking thing. Be less dangerous and not be propagating stupid dangerous ways of cutting stuff on the internet. Don't try this at home. Let go! You're eating up all my memory card, taking so dang long. Radiator. Boy, that thing holds on. It's probably because I'm doing it a dumb way. I probably should have just ordered the pliers and waited to do this. I was gonna do a Cadillac bushing video today, but due to the constraints, Jiminy. Woo! You see that? Look at that. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Look at that. I thought it'd just be the skinny same size tube going through. It's got like a legitimate cooling apparatus. We're gonna have to unbolt that. Okay, so here's a fun part. Should be able to see through that. See just a little. Look at that. That blocks the hole. Just take welding wire. Does it come out the bottom? What do you think? Haha. So this is how you'd rod a radiator out if you took everything apart carefully and did a good job and all that kind of thing. And this is the kind of radiator you probably want to do it on, but only if you get new tanks, because these are made out of that plastic stuff, and that's what the point of failure was. The new radiators are so cheap and so affordable, you just get a new radiator, it's just what you do. But I don't think you're getting the same quality. I really doubt that your new radiator has something that's this intricate and cool to get your transmission fluid cooled off. It's amazing is how strong this is too. I don't think there's anything else that we can go inside of any further than what we've done, aside from cutting a section of this out. So let's do that too, why not? I think we can match that on the other side. I kind of do. It's like a honeycomb. Isn't that amazing? You see all the different sections of it. So stinking intricate, and they're all welded together. It's like electrozapped or whatever. And it's strong too. I mean, stronger than honeycomb is. Look at it from the side and you can see all the different little fins. So stinking intricate, there's so much surface area. After you cut it, you're like, there's no way you'd be able to see through that. You look at it, you can see right through it. They're all in alignment. It's amazing. There's the end, it's just a bunch of little tubes. Okay, so what are these? Are these steel? Let's get a magnet and find out. No, that is not steel. That's aluminum too. It's no wonder these are expensive when you get a good one. So this is all aluminum. Nice thing about aluminum is if you heat it up in one spot, the heat spreads really easy. and it dissipates. And with all of these little fins, don't try this at home, but look at what the fins look like. It's like you spend so much time and effort being careful with radiators, it's kind of fun to just kill one that's already dead. But just took a loving scoop out of this section of finnage, and it's falling apart like spinach because it rhymes. Dude, it's brittle. Look at all the dirt on it. You wouldn't think there's that much dirt, but there is. So all these fins, what they do is they just increase the surface area. They pull the heat or wick the heat away from these aluminum tubes, and then it radiates the heat into the environment. Let's see if we can skim just a little of it. Oh my gosh, how do they even make that? It's like tin foil. The more surface area, the better it is to dissipate the heat. Look at this. You can see that each of these slits is actually a tube, and each of these goes to a tube in the radiator, and then there's just a bunch of metal going in between. And the whole tank across the top fills up and goes down. When you get low on coolant, what happens? Well, you'll have a bunch of air gaps and stuff, and you just don't have that effectiveness. About 19 millimeter. Whee! Take her for a ride, go for a spin. There you go. So in theory, you should be able to rock this up and out. You see you've got O-rings here, and then on this other side, you've got just these washers. But these little O-rings, if the O-ring failed and it were to leak from here, if you had the right tool to get these off instead of cutting them, you could effectively pull this off, get in there, replace the O-rings, and fix the leak. That's what I'm saying. Let's look down this lengthwise. Is it hollow all the way through? Yeah, it is. Interesting. It's a tube within a tube. It's an enigma. I wonder if it's got fins and junk in there too. Certainly not, but Radiator sure does without any worry. So let's cut this open and see what's inside of that. She's a smoking and a pissing. Check that out. All the fluid's going through all of these little itty bitty veins. This is a really good cooler because you've got coolant going through the middle, and you've got all the fins to take it to the wall, you know, like the wall of the tube. So I'm guessing they just make this and then they crimp the ends, press them all together, and then they put this into it. All right, let's cut this in half and see what that looks like. Oh, we'll do that on this end. Man, this is just so intricate. They do such a good job. These Japanese mean it. They mean business. Let's see if this will pry apart at any point. Okay, that's even cooler. Wow. Didn't see that coming now, did you? That's way cool. Look at all that. See, here's those fins. Dude, they're not making any shortcuts, and it's not just a tube going through. Like some of those cheap radiators that you buy, they will literally just have a tube that you tie into and the tube goes through. But look at all the cooling fins on this. That's awesome. How cool is that? It's really fun pulling them apart. I'm a nerd, I know. So in theory, you should be able to pull that out. So let's do it. Looks like Elmer Fudd's gun after Bugs Bunny stuck his finger in the end of it. That's it. I mean, it goes in, it goes around. I was gonna cut through this to just see what the deal was, but I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory right there. I mean, the fluid flows between those, it finds its way. It's amazing. Wonder how much just that would cost. Just all ways of moving heat around. Well, let's get out the thermal camera and we'll torch the radiator a little bit, we'll torch this a little bit, and watch what the heat does on it. That'd be fun. See this right here, which is the little piece of radiator. There's a little time lag on it, as you can see. What we're going to do is we're going to take this torch and we're going to heat it up. And I'm just going to heat the bottom of it only, and you're going to watch the heat travel up the thing. It should be fun, right? Let's do it. So right away you can see the heat in the bottom of it. You can see that heat starting to spread. This torch is a little bit much for those tiny little fins. But see how the heat's going clear up into this part? I haven't even been there, I've just been there, and just that quick. So that's the conductive benefit of using aluminum, is that the heat will transfer and go through it pretty evenly throughout the whole thing. This has that transmission fluid, so it's going to be an automatic transmission fluid Scentsy candle. Okay, so here's the line right here, is what we're dealing with. Let's go ahead and heat it up. See, look at the heat just going right up that. Alright, let's just go nuts on it. I want to see the sucker glow. So if I had torched it right there, that's what it'd look like. Now because it's hollow and it's got all those fins, it looks really interesting. You can see the fins dissipating the heat, especially this part here because it's open. Cool, we'll focus it. Bill. Let's just heat it in one spot for a while and just see what that does. Just watch the heat go out from there. It's funny, you see the little ribs and lines. If you'll remember, there's a bunch of this kind of stuff in there. So it's wrapped around on the inside. We'll set this up and see how it conducts the heat. It's going to start on fire because of the transmission fluid on it. That shouldn't stay on for too long. Hopefully it won't make the smoke detector go. Fagaya! All the pyros at home are like, yes. Well, that got a nice even heat distribution now, didn't it? Being that the whole thing was on fire. This is fun. I'm telling you, copper and aluminum conduct heat just fine. So here's our thing, and you can see how evenly heated this is now as opposed to what it was before. So let's just cook the crap out of it in the middle. And just watch the heat spread through the whole thing. I'm going to time lapse this just so that you can get an idea of what we're dealing with. As you can see, it's hotter than my finger is. It's still pretty warm. There's air that's going from this side from the furnace and it's cooling it down. So now I'm going to get some compressed air with the air hose and we're going to cool it down quicker. Alright, here we go. I'm just going to show this all in real time. Isn't that cool? Now my hand's hotter than it is. Just having the air go through it, there's so much surface area, it cools quick. So does your radiator fan do you any good? Sure does. I'm going to open a door in here. Wow! Do you see the smoke? Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? It's crazy. Alright, let's blow on it. Let's blow in just a little. You see where I'm blowing? Blowing a line up and down. So if you have debris or stuff that's blocking the air from passing through it, like I don't care if it's like animal fur or lint or a bunch of cottonwood seeds, that airflow makes a big difference. It's almost like you're washing off the heat. There you go, all clean, no more heat. See how it's spread over here now though? Cool. Well, that concludes our radiator video. I do appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you learned something new. I know I did. Every time I get in front of the camera and step out on a ledge or a skinny tree branch like this doing something I haven't done before, I always have a good time. I always learn something new. Oh yeah, it's all even again, just about. What an amazing property, that metal.
Look, bonus footage at the end.
I had a great video I've been working on for the last 2 weeks on Cadillac CTSV upper control arm bushings. What? You didn't even know they existed? Me neither, but I found some. Second generation ones. And took a little tweaking, but the tweaking didn't happen in time, so scratch that. We're going to cut open a radiator. Geez, these what's inside videos are messy to make. Look at all this. So I was just thinking, and it bears mentioning, when you have something that clogs your radiator, say you've got a blockage or whatever, it would not be something unusual or crazy for one of these little tubes to get blocked off and go dead. So what would happen? Well, the top radiator hose where the antifreeze goes into it fills across the top of here, and then it flows down through them. So this is a top to bottom flow as opposed to a side to side like some of them are. So the top to bottom flow like this, if this one were blocked, you got a big piece of crud or something on a couple of these, this would be cooler. And you'd be able to see that with a thermal camera if it were, blocked off sufficiently to where it didn't have any coolant going through it.